Welcome to another episode of Earrings Off, the podcast where we explore health, wellness, and everything that matters most to you. Today, we're keeping it real with an episode called What's Your Superpower? Teresa and I share our superpowers. Mine is leaning into hard conversations, while Teresa's is skillfully avoiding conflict. Opposites, right? That's what makes this episode so relatable. Tune in, have a laugh, and reflect on your own superpower. Don't forget to share the episode and to also share with us your superpower. You can subscribe to our podcast at www.earringsoff.com. Let's celebrate the superpowers that make us all unique. Listen in.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Earrings Off. We want to invite you to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. You can find us on Facebook at Earrings Off Podcast and on Instagram at The Earrings Off Podcast.
Welcome to Earrings Off. I'm Lou.
And I'm Teresa. Well, hello, partner. How are you today?
I am doing well, partner. Doing well. How about you?
I'm doing well. New year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cold, things going well. It's busy
Yeah.
to start the year. It's all good. Yeah.
All good. Yeah.
Family's good.
Yeah.
Hanging in there anyway.
Yeah.
No?
Thank you for that. Yeah.
So today I want us to venture into the area of superpowers. Now, hold on before you say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Not the kind of superpowers in comic books.
Okay.
The real everyday strengths that make each of us one of a kind.
Well, you know what? I think it's great to start the new year off talking about that because so many times when the calendar turns or we find ourselves in a new year, we get fixated on what we want or what we're trying to accomplish or where we want to go. And when you talk about a superpower, we're talking about something that we already have that's intrinsic to who we are. It's not something that we gotta struggle for or try to get there. We're talking about what do we walk in every day? What's our superpower?
And a lot of times unknowingly, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully after today's episode, people will understand what it is to have a superpower and what a superpower is, and they can identify their own superpower.
Yeah.
And hopefully, and this will make more sense as the show goes, it is one that is helpful to others.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You'll understand that in a minute. You'll understand that in a minute. Just hang in there with me. Let's see which way we want to go with this. I think I'll start. How about that? And sharing my superpower.
All right.
And
what is it?
Well, don't get too excited because anyway, I already see you rolling your eyes saying, well, that's boring, and I already knew it.
Why do you say that? Your whole life is so exciting.
Wait a minute now. How many times have you called me a one-trick pony?
Okay, see, you're starting the new year off, bringing all that bad baggage from the past. Okay, let's stay focused. Okay.
So without a doubt, the superpower that I embrace is the one that is where I love helping people and even myself understand what it truly means to live naturally.
Yeah, that is definitely your superpower. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So go ahead.
And you, Teresa, you walk in that effortlessly. I mean, it's just such a part of who you are, Yeah, that's definitely one of yours.
Yes. I mean, it is a passion, and I find great joy in helping others. figure things out for themselves. I have one example that I'll share with you. My brother and his wife,
Mm-hmm.
um, they came for a visit many, many years ago. I think it was Thanksgiving or something. It was a family gathering that where everybody came to my house. And my sister-in-law is very curious,
Mm-hmm.
and she notices. She what is it called? She observes
Mm-hmm.
everything around her. Observant. She observes, right? So she noticed, right off the bat, how I cooked, how we rolled in this house when it comes to eating, working out, talking about health and wellness, just making sure, things are holistic and natural. And she was curious. And we ended up one night, the family and I, around the table just talking about natural health. And
Wow.
that was the first time that I really shared with them. This was many years ago about,
Mhm.
our journey and how we got there with Robert having been sick, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They left. All of them were like, oh, we're making these changes, taking notes. But that particular brother, my youngest brother and his wife, are the only ones who truly embraced it. She literally went home, threw things out of the pantry, ordered a Vitamix. And since then, she's ordered a juicer, and she actually has the juicer that I want, right?
Yeah. And Teresa,
I'll
that was years ago. So
years
they
ago.
stuck with it. Yeah.
They have stuck They have stuck with it. I can easily go visit their house and not have to take groceries with me, which is what I do
Right.
when I
When you
visit
go
my
somewhere.
mom
Yeah.
and other people, right? And for
Yeah.
them, I don't have to pack anything. My brother's actually vegan, and my
Wow.
sister-in-law, she's not vegan, but my brother's vegan, so I don't have to worry about anything to eat if I go to their house. I can literally eat whatever food
That's pretty
that
good.
they have at their house. And just to see, my sister-in-law actually had she's a breast cancer survivor, and she had some joint inflammation
Uh-huh.
and was taking medicine for it. Was taking medication, like some strong pain medications. She's not on any of that anymore.
As a result of her changing her eating habits, what lifestyle? Wow.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. And my brother has had some health challenges since he actually got COVID twice. She
Uh-huh.
never got it. Even being in the house with him,
What?
he got it from work,
Uh-huh.
and it convalesced at home where she was and my nephew, but neither of them
Got it.
got it. And the first time he got it, they were living in an apartment because he was in transition between
Right.
areas. But the second time he got it, they could literally separate because they had moved into a house. But her immune system is rock solid, right?
Wow.
So, but yeah, so it's really that is my superpower. I love teaching people about how their plates can look differently and they can still
Yeah.
enjoy what they're eating. Hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Well, yeah. And you're speaking the truth because I've witnessed that. So that is definitely
So
your superpower.
I should say this though. It is not about being perfect, right?
Yeah.
And the one thing that is bad about it is that people think that I judge them, or
And
that
you really don't. And I think maybe it's because of our relationship and the fact that we work together. I have no concern when we eat out or whatever. You do your healthy thing, and if I'm in the healthy mood, fine. But if not, I'm doing
but even
me.
even with that, it's not always healthy,
Yeah,
right? It's not about perfect.
yeah,
It's just about being aligned, body and mind,
yeah.
and
And you
knowing
don't judge.
what you're doing is going to impact you. I mean,
Yeah,
but I don't judge. We're all different because what
yeah,
I do might not work for you and
yeah.
vice versa. So there's no judgment there because how could it be, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's what I consider my superpower. It's not just teaching, it's empowering others to reconnect with themselves and their health in a way that is both sustainable and deeply fulfilling.
Hmm.
And it brings me great joy. And I'm so absolutely grateful when people to see someone have an aha moment when they realize, especially if, you know, something that they've always been doing, they find out how I don't know, I don't want to say bad it is actually for them. Like I'm thinking of one example of the church class when I had someone read the back of a creamer cart
Hmm.
and like what's in it, like identifying that it's not actually milk.
Right.
And that aha moment's like, what? This is not
Yeah.
like, no, cream is cream.
Yeah.
It's not cream. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's it.
Well, when I think about a superpower, for me, mine isn't like yours in that you're out to do good. In the end, mine may produce some good, but anyway, my superpower is that I have always been very good um at setting boundaries, and I have never been one to shy away from having hard conversations. And I think I'm very good at it, quite frankly. I can find a way to communicate in the hardest situations, the most awkward situations. Um, Got a little bit of a reputation for that. I don't know if that's good or bad, because my husband sometimes says, now she sometimes says, well, why do you have to always be the one to say something? But it's not that I have to be, but I don't feel like I'm being authentic if I don't have honest conversations. And it's not to, like you said, it's not to judge or make anyone feel bad. But if I'm going to be in a relationship in some type of setting with you, then and something we need to work through something, I don't like elephants in the room. I believe in talking about it for us to try to work through it. And I've just always been that way all my life. I don't remember even being younger, not being that way to speak up. And so if I'd have to say that what is my one of my superpowers is the fact that I just don't shy away from hard conversations where other people might be prone to sweep something under the rug or let's ignore it and let's not talk about it. That just never sets well with my spirit. It just,
Mhm.
I wish many times that I were like that because sometimes that's the easier way. And it's, you avoid the awkwardness of having conversations with people and having to work through things. I wish sometimes I could just keep my mouth shut, but that's just not who I am. I believe in looking a person in the eye and saying, you know what? When you said that, what did you mean by that? And yeah, and well, when you did that, I didn't understand, So I try to frame it in a way to hear what others say, but yeah, I'd have to say it might be a bad one, but it's not to me in the end because in the end, I think that it makes for more authentic relationships, more lasting interactions when somebody knows where you stand on a particular issue. And that's just the way I am. So,
Well, and I know this to be true. And as you were speaking, I was thinking about when I first met you. And in our friend circle, there
don't
was this
don't tell
situation.
don't tell people business on there.
I'm not gonna call no names. And I'm just gonna say what you said. Well, why can't we talk about it? Aren't we all grown women? For Pete's sakes.
Yeah, I don't. So yeah, that like I said, now I've not been perfect. Sometimes I thought I could have honest conversations and people weren't ready to hear them.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I don't want it to make it sound like It's always been just roses and rose petals, but
So we are
I don't really
truly,
regret it. I don't really regret it in those instances because at least I tried.
oh
And
yeah,
at least you now know where I stand. And
right.
if that means that for whatever reason going forward, that the relationship is not what we thought it would be, I make peace with that very easily. And that's the other piece of it. When I put myself out there, I weigh in my brain, in my mind, what could happen as a result of these conversations? And am I ready for the worst case scenario? Can I handle it if it doesn't go the way I expect? And once I process that in my mind, that this is the worst that can happen, Lou, are you okay with that? Yeah, I can live with that. Then I go forward.
Well, you are definitely the Oscar to my Felix or Felix to my Oscar. Let me tell you, sis, because my number two superpower is what? What do you think it is?
It's got to be avoidance.
Conflict avoidance. Ding, 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 ding.
Did you include that as a freaking super?
Yes, that is my superpower. It,
That's a superpower.
yes, Lou. It has both positive and challenging
Did
aspects.
you
Okay.
really say that is?
No, Lou. See?
I know it to be true, though. I mean, that is so you. You don't like to confront anything. You don't like to confront anything.
That's right. See? Isn't it funny? Now, folks, you might think we got together to prepare for this, but we didn't. This is real comfort, real talk right now.
And see, Teresa, that's why when you and I on this podcast, when we're trying to make decisions, and you say, "Yeah, Lou, it's okay," I'll ask you 3 and 4 times, "Are you okay? Is it okay?" And people think that I'm running this podcast. I am not. I'm deferring to you because I'm always wondering, is she really okay? Does she really, or did she mean no? And she won't say it. Well, I mean, you take me through all these kinds of changes because of
No,
that.
I don't. No, I don't. No, you take yourself through those changes. If I say I'm okay, whether it's avoiding conflict or not, I'm okay.
You're okay because you don't want the conflict.
So,
Teresa,
so yes.
and you consider that a superpower. Okay.
Well, the same as you. I feel the same way as what you said about you getting in people's stuff. I'm just the opposite of you. Like I said, Oscar to Felix or Felix to Oscar, whichever way you want to look at it. That's us.
But that, Teresa, that is so you. You are not lying. You avoid conflict at all costs, for goodness sake.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Have you always been like that, though?
hmm
Really?
Because I mean, I like laughing. This to me is so much fun and is so much better than having conflict. Yeah. So if you're always
Right.
happy, how do you have time for that? And to keep the happiness going, then I'll just say whatever.
Yeah.
Keep it
Yeah,
moving.
and see, I get that because I'd probably be healthier, wouldn't have high blood pressure if I felt like that. But no, I gotta confront everything out there, everything in my path. I want to deal with it.
Actually, Lou, no. Honestly, I spoke to the new doctor in the family recently. We had a
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
The new doctor in the family told me that living the way that you live is the best way.
All
It's the
righty.
best way for your health, and you tend to live longer than someone like me who avoids, because a lot of that is taking it internal, right? You take the conflict internal, which impacts you negatively, which can impact you
Oh,
negatively.
there are pros and cons to both sides because like I said, there have been many times when I think to myself, why did you feel a need to address that? There were 5 other women in the room, and not one of them felt the need to address it. But yet you had to say something. But
Oh,
yeah, that's just who I
so
am.
let me tell you something. You probably would make a lot of money. if you allowed yourself to go onto the Housewives series, because
Okay.
that's the kind of thing that they look for.
Yeah, Teresa, okay. I have limits. Those shows even embarrass me. So I do have my limits with that. Okay. So no,
Yeah. Well,
not
that's my guilty pleasure. That and Married to Medicine. Same concept. I
okay.
love those shows.
Okay. So my other one, I guess, my other superpower is even with me confronting and feel like I have to say something. I'm just naturally an empathetic person. You don't really I don't really get into judging people and thinking less than of others. That's just not who I am. And if I meet people, if I'm out and about, I find a lot to compliment people on and to
Yeah.
encourage.
Yeah.
And it's not anything I struggle with. I have to figure out. It's just naturally part of who I am. I
Yeah.
celebrate people. Um, and I just think I've always been that way to encourage others because you don't know what somebody may be going through.
Oh,
And
Lou,
I just want to try to be a light in the world. And so that's how I move about my day every day
that's
is
true.
trying to be pleasant to people. And I've just never been one to, like I said, look down on people or think that I'm more than someone else. I despise people who do. I'm always, when I see that kind of behavior where it appears someone is being unkind to someone in some sort of a subservient role, that ticks me off because I'm thinking to myself, well, what is wrong with you that you think it's okay to move about the world like that? And so I stopped looking at the interaction and start processing in my mind, what's wrong with this person? Because there's definitely something wrong. So
Yeah,
I would say for me, my other superpower is definitely I'm an empathetic person. I care about people. I'm not one to try to hurt others or make me look like more than it's at anyone else's expense. I try to uplift people. And that's
you're
just the way
very, very giving too. You put us all to shame when it comes to that.
I am.
Very, very giving.
So,
So,
yeah.
that brings us to the end. That was fun. So, I hope this conversation has inspired you all to think about your own superpower and
Yeah.
how you can embrace it fully.
Yeah.
Remember, your unique gift is what makes you extraordinary. It's what the world needs from you. Whether it's bringing calm to chaos, offering a fresh perspective, or simply being the one who listens, your superpower has the potential to create a ripple effect of positivity and change. Now, I have a challenge for the audience, Lou.
Okay.
We have a challenge for the audience.
Okay.
Take some time this week to reflect on your superpower. What do you do effortlessly that often that others often admire? What lights you up and makes you feel like you're your most authentic self? Once you've identified it, think about one small way you can share that gift with the world, whether it's in your relationships, your work, or your community. We'd love to hear about your superpower and how you're using it to make an impact. Send us a note in social media or via email at info@earringsoff.com. Let's start a conversation and celebrate each other's unique gifts.
Thanks so much for joining us here today at Earrings Off. Please, by all means, take good care.